Hello everybody, good seeing you again, and welcome to my convention report number 3 for the third annual Rose City Comic Con here in Portland, Oregon. I finally had a chance to go to this convention. I've been wanting to go to it for quite a long time now, ever since my first actual comic book convention was the first year Wizard World was here in Portland, so I wanted to see what this different. I was hoping this convention, Rose City, would be different, and I was pleasantly surprised and happy that it was. I'll get to some of those differences in a minute, but I've been wanting. This is the third year they've done it, and I've been wanting to go forever. Just haven't had the time or money, and this year I've reluctantly scrounged up the $30 to go at least one day for Saturday. If you've seen some of my other videos or some of my my cosplay photography on my Facebook page, you know that I generally do anime conventions is really where the heart is. So comic book conventions are definitely a different little bit of a different world for me. And Wizard World was my first experience as a comic book convention, and I mean, Wizard World was all right, but it felt very forced and kind of weird, and I was kind of worried that Rose City was going to be the same way, but it was 100% completely different. I felt just much more welcomed, more natural. It was a fantastic convention. I really wished I would have been able to go both days. So let's start with some of the generalized stuff I like to show off. So badges. Because they actually have real badges at Wizard World. Here's my, let me get the light reflection there. Yeah, there we go. My Saturday pass for the Rose City. I got this sweet lanyard from the Dark Horse booth. A few buttons from them and some buttons from some other booths. They were all giving out crazy. There were tons of booths. Basically, people just trying to promote themselves, just giving out free stuff, right? Sell their stuff for the most part. Here's my son's badge. Little child, weird little green goblin looking thing. I guess it's the mask. What does that say? Itty bitty mask? That's weird. Next thing was the guidebook for the convention, which had some really awesome artwork on it. So if you're not from the Portland area, I guess this won't be as cool to you. It's still some pretty cool artwork, so some cool kaiju on it. But the train station here, this is the Portland's train station, which is kind of like a landmark for us. It's very recognizable, basically a Portland landmark, almost kind of like the Space Needle in Seattle, although of course probably not quite as known. Nice. Overall, it was a nice little book. Nice full colored pages here for the most part. I really liked the way that they did the schedule. There wasn't a huge amount of stuff going on, but they had it all laid out like really perfectly, easy to read kind of stuff. And then they also had a nice little map on the next page over, which was pretty sweet. I loved this artwork. They were selling. They actually had a T-shirt with this artwork on it that I would have loved to have had, but I'm so broke right now. I didn't have the money to get this T-shirt, and I wanted one so bad because it's so badass. I also really wanted the staff T-shirt. The staff T-shirt was really cool. It was long sleeved, which would be unfortunate during the summer, but it was basically just a red shirt with the white Rose City logo on it, the Rose City Comic Con logo on it, which was they're just cool and simple. And usually for like comic or convention T-shirts, it's kind of what I like. Just simple mascot image, done, fantastic. It's pretty sweet. Of course, there's no way to get one of those unless you were actually a volunteer or whatever. Anyway, so there was a couple panels I missed that I wished I wouldn't have, like some of the celebrity panels, and there was like a nerd rock panel that I really wanted to go to, but I ended up missing it on accident. But the one panel I did go to was the Godzilla panel, Godzilla versus Everything. It was the name of the panel. It was hosted by guess I'm forgetting the guy's name at the moment, but the guy that hosts Kaiju Cast, the podcast about just Japanese giant monster movies. Pretty cool dude. I met him at another convention a while ago and bought a sweet poster from him, which was awesome. It's one of my favorite posters, which I don't have hanging up right now because of my living situation, but it's an awesome poster. But it was a fun panel. Basically, we just saw clips of some of the Godzilla movies and just talked about them and how awesome they were. Really cool panel. After that, it was mostly just the dealers hall for the most part, which is, I'm kind of seeing the trend of Comic Cons are more or like that. They're the main difference on your anime convention side, you got panels going into like midnight, 1 a.m. where the biggest attraction at comic book conventions are going to be your comic book artists and big movie celebrities and that kind of thing, and the dealers hall, which is where most of those celebrities hang out and selling their autographs. One of the big things that really stood out to me at Rose City was the kids area. They had a really cool kids area, and for someone like me that brought my 3-year-old son with me to the convention, that means a lot. Radio Disney was there. They were doing all these contests and all these other prizes to win. They had a fantastic thing where you could enter to win a Guardians of the Galaxy movie poster that was signed by the entire cast and the director, which I didn't win, but I would have loved to. Like that's freaking awesome that they were even doing that kind of contest for the dads or parents of the kids and that kind of thing. But the whole Radio Disney set up like this whole huge section just for kid stuff. They had a stage where they were doing different shows. Like they had a magic show with like a real magician. He was doing all this crazy stuff and all these other contests. My son actually went up on stage and got to do one of the contests where they were like naming off colors. They came back to him a second time. He wasn't able to name a color, but that's okay. He won some like pencils, like some Muppets pencils or something. So he was excited about that. But they also had they had a lot of other stuff too. Like they had some posters and stuff to take pictures in front of. They had some face painting and balloon animals and just some really cool stuff for the kids. And it was a neat refreshing thing to see at a convention. I wish more conventions would do that. I guess I don't have a lot of experience with comic book conventions, but I know at like anime conventions they have a little bit of stuff catered to the kids, but not a huge amount of stuff like Rose City did, which was really neat. So going through some of the booths and things, there was definitely some really cool artwork that really stood out that I really wished I could have got my hands on and bought, because there was some awesome stuff. I'll show you a few. Here, let's backtrack a little bit. One of the things that really stood out to me, and also stood out to my son, was there's like a droid builders club where these people build remote controlled R2 units, and my son just had a blast just looking at those and standing next to him, and basically he just sat there and stared at them. I got a neat little video of him that I'll show you guys here. But after that, there was a few booths that really stood out to me. There were some people selling some cool like homemade marshmallow guns and just some neat stuff overall. Couple things that stood out to me were these guys, just because myself, what is it, Transsolar Galactica? They are a sci-fi web series. Maybe I should do it so you see my face. Blah, blah. They do a sci-fi web series. I haven't checked them out yet, but the previews I saw at their booth actually made it seem really cool. I mean, me being a fan, I would like to start my own web series based off my superhero that I did for my After Effects class in college a couple of years ago. I'd really like to make a web series based off that. So I'm a very big supporter on indie film and indie like your web series and stuff like that. It's definitely a big part of my life. so I like to try to support those guys that did it, and I plan to check these guys out as soon as I get the chance here in a day or two. They are also, those same guys are doing a cool game, Robot Rundown. It's a, I really wish it was more than just a, sorry guys, I'm so bad at holding stuff up here, and my camera's not the best when it has to refocus 100 times. But it's basically like a side-scrolling shooter, which I've always loved. If it wasn't a freaking Apple-only app, I would play it for you guys, because it's probably like a 99-cent app, or it's free, and it's what, like 5 levels, 10 levels. So it would be awesome to play for you guys as part of a Let's Play video, but that may not happen because I don't own any Apple products. Another cool thing, this guy, Dragon. I'm going to hold it up here so you guys can actually see. Hopefully my camera focuses here. Oh, hello. Anyway, Dragon, dragonthegame.net, so check that out. What this was, it looked like it was in the very early stages. I didn't get a chance to actually get my hands on and play it. But basically it's an MMO where you play as a dragon. So your character is a dragon and you play in this big MMO world. I don't know a lot more about it other than that, but it sounds like a really badass concept that I would love to check out. So that's another thing I'm going to be checking out soon as well. But something I encourage you guys to check out if you're big MMO fans. Because if they can make that game just decent, the fact that you can play as a dragon is definitely a first for gaming of that style. The last thing I'll go on about are these guys. So I don't know a huge amount about them, but from what I've read is they basically somewhat keep track of all the cool, nerdy, geek, culture-y stuff that's happening around the Portland area. So I'm going to keep an eye out on them to see when new conventions are coming up, all this other crazy great stuff. That way I can hopefully get some more cool cosplay photos or take great photos of, or just do cool videos for you guys about conventions. So the last thing I'll go over here, the cosplay photos. So there was a few that really stood out to me among the rest. So as far as my cosplay photos go, it wasn't a fantastic experience because I rushed out of the house so quickly because I was late. I forgot batteries for my camera, and my camera died, and then I had to use my cell phone, and then my cell phone died. And the ones that were took on my cell phone were not fantastic images at all. So it sucks. But with that being said, this one here is one of my favorite ones. It's the it's an older couple that are cosplaying together, and they cosplayed the husband and wife from the movie Up. Such a fantastic idea. It was heartwarming to see a couple like that, because you could tell that they were really, basically still in love with each other and pretty happy with each other. These people could very well be like brother and sister, and I'm just saying all this crazy shit, so I don't know. But they definitely seemed happy to be together and be cosplaying as a couple. They were cosplaying a husband and wife, so I'm gonna assume they're a husband and wife. Next up is God, I did not get her name, but she was such a cool cosplayer. She was actually with she's cosplaying like a dark elf or something from World of Warcraft. Don't throw hate comments at me because I may have gotten that character wrong, but she was totally cool girl to talk to. She was also partnered up with somebody at the booth that actually did a lot of the artwork for some of the World of Warcraft TCG cards, which was really cool. She actually had it looked like a picture of her and then spliced into his artwork, so it was her posing as the characters that he drew. So it was half artistry and then real life, her obviously a real life photograph, which was like, if I would have had money to buy prints, I would have bought one of those for sure. But it was totally awesome. The other guy this guy here was walking around in a freaking full almost a life-size TARDIS. It was like a 6 foot tall wooden TARDIS. It's probably the most amazing thing I've seen. Made me really jealous because I actually want to build a full-size TARDIS out in my front yard someday, and that would be the greatest thing ever. The other costume that really impressed me, just for original something I've never seen before anyway, was this guy from the Labyrinth. I don't remember the character's name, but he's the one that traded information for jewelry from Sarah in the movie. If you remember, the weird little bird talked on his head, please put the contribution in the little box. And I think I'm giving him a Jersey accent or something, but I don't know if actually the way he sound. Anyway, that was a hilarious cosplay, really awesome. But I think my favorite cosplay of all is this guy here. Now, not everyone's going to remember who this character is. You probably have to be around 30 something like I am to actually remember who this is, but he is cosplaying from the old Nickelodeon cartoon Doug. He's cosplaying the main main character of the show, Doug, his alter ego Quail Man, which was a superhero Doug invented in the show. But he's cosplaying as Quail Man, which is just completely awesome. I've never seen anybody cosplay Quail Man before, and it's such an easy costume to do. I mean, he completely just probably threw that together in probably like a 10-minute, 30-minute like costume idea, and it worked out phenomenal, like best ever. So other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it for Rose City Comic Con. Like I said, fantastic convention, fantastic staff, super well organized. I mean, I got there probably like 30 minutes to an hour late after the event actually opened, and it literally took me 1 to 2 minutes to stand in line and get my ticket. I basically walked up to the line and handed the lady my money. It was that easy, which is absolutely fantastic. I pre-bought tickets to Wizard World and still had to stand in line for like 2 hours, hour and a half or something like that, which was ridiculous. So just a fantastic convention overall. Like, people were great. It felt good to be there. Felt like a real convention. Like, I was just having fun, hanging out with like-minded people, other nerds in costumes, checking out people's great, fantastic costumes. So I'll definitely try to make plans to go next year. And this time go the whole weekend, because it's worth it. It's like $35 to go the whole weekend. I was a little disappointed I did have to pay for my son. So I know, like, at anime conventions, they have to be like 6 or at least 5 and up to actually have to pay for. Although it only costed like $5 for him to get in, but still, that's like $5 I could use for lunch. Anyway, awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, favorite, and subscribe for more Convention Report videos. And until the next video, be kind to each other, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Hello, everybody. Good seeing you again, and welcome to my Convention Report number 3 for the 3rd annual Wizard... Shoot. Wrong convention.